Champions League. We are going to be enjoying another football pinnacle football today. We are going to enjoy ourselves. Okay, I'm here with my guys. John, how are you, John?
Fine, thank you. Welcome.
How are you, Nonso?
Well, as expected, I'm always good. Welcome to the show, fans.
Okay, before we move on to the Champions League, remember, guys, we are live on YouTube at Vote FM Sports. We are live on YouTube at Vote FM Sports. Where you go there, drop your comments. I will be reading your comments live here in the studio. At some point, we are going to be opening the phone lines for you to make your own contributions. But before we go to the Champions League, let's move over to the games that happened yesterday. Remember, Rangers International played the game yesterday, and they drew that game 1-0. That game was ended 0-0, so we're going to be talking about that too on the show. But first, let's talk about the Premier League, because there's a game that happened in the Premier League yesterday. The last game of the weekend is Nottingham Forest 1, Crystal Palace 0. What do you make of that, no? So Nottingham Forest have actually been cooking well this season, slowly and steady. I think they'll end up in Europe.
There's something that I've noticed with some coaches. The pressure of small clubs is not mounting on them, so they come out and surprise everybody and take that club to Europe. I think he's done it before at Wolverhampton Wanderers, where he played the longest season in the Premier League and went to, I think, started the playoffs of the Europa League and went on to the semi-finals or quarter-finals of the Europa League that season. So Nuno is one of these managers I say, when he went to Tottenham, he didn't really, the records didn't really speak for him. But for Nottingham Forest and for Wolverhampton Wanderers, the records are there to speak for him. He's a good coach. It's just that the pressure of Big Six kind of overwhelms him. And
he would have just stayed where
he was at Wolverhampton Wanderers. I think by now he would have won perhaps the Europa League.
Or relegated?
No. He wouldn't have relegated because his record for the Wolverhampton Wanderers was always in the top 8.
Okay, John, if you look at that game, it was a 50-50 game. Nottingham Forest and Crystal Palace, they both had 20 shots in total. Nottingham Forest had 6 shots on target. Crystal Palace have 7 shots on target. Position was 51. 49, basically 50-50 for both of them. But if you look at that game, Nuno actually coming on top to win that game. What do you make of him? Because he has been actually doing well this season.
Yeah, he's been doing well this season. I think he's right where he belongs, in the sense that, there are some clubs that are bigger than some managers, and some managers that cannot adapt to coaching at the highest level, and so I think the best thing is when you find your groove, find your space, find your club, find your place, you're able to excel and shine there. And depending on if Nottingham Forest can get some super funding, he could push into Europe.
Okay, if you look at Crystal Palace played well, especially in the second half of last season, but suddenly they fell off. I don't know why. Well, what do you think is happening to them? Do you think it's because they sold? Is it as they said
it's not really about the attack, because we still see them scoring goals. We see them creating chances. Who replaces Anderson in midfield? Defensive midfield. I'm not sure I have somebody that will say, okay, if you're selling this player off, let this person
playing as a centre back. So
now you play Anderson as a defensive midfielder and the centre half. Now you get him off, and you wanted to get Maguire off. If they have gotten Maguire off, trust me, it would have been a relegation battle. They should be fighting by now, because you don't end up selling players without getting. I remember when they sold Wan-Bissaka to Man United, there was a Mitchell on the bench. Before you sell one person off, you're sure that there's somebody on the bench already that has come to learn off the person. And maybe we call them the understudies. I could go on and use Man City for example. Before they sold off David Silva, because that's the one I'm sure. Before they sold off David Silva, there was a Foden who's been an understudy for almost a year and a half. You get? So it's just one of those things where you say, these coaches, they come in and they sell players, and you ask yourself, after selling those players, who did you bring in to replace those players? And I could say this, Crystal Palace are really struggling to create chances. They're really struggling to defend their goal. They're really struggling to score the chances. I saw the game against Man United, where Eze went on to miss wonderful chances. Mateta went on to miss wonderful chances as well. Nketiah, the kid they brought in, their new Messiah, was not even hitting on target at all. So all through of this season now, the way they've started, you ask yourself, you let some players go. Did you get any player credible enough to replace them?
Okay, that game ended 1-0 to Nottingham Forest. They actually been doing well. Now, if you look at that table, Liverpool still stay top with 21 points after 8 games. Manchester City is second with 20 points. Arsenal, after 8 games, 17 points. Aston Villa, 17 points. Brighton is 5th with 15 points. Chelsea stay 6th with 14 points. Spurs is 13 points. Then Nottingham Forest, that's where I want to reach. Nottingham Forest have 13 points after 8 games. They just lost only 1 game this season, which is actually good for them. If you look at the relegation battle or relegation itself, Crystal Palace are 18th. They have only 3 points from 8 games. That's the worry, because the way they played, I think last season they scored Manchester United almost 4-0 at home. So they were actually playing well.
Why would you always remember that record, man?
I was going to
why
remember
would you
that
always
game.
remember that record, man? That was like, it was like the end of the season, so it was like the only thing you remember from last season.
It was 4-0. I was just talking about how they ended that season. The last 10 games,
yes.
They really played well, played very, very well, and won so many games. Now, this season, after 8 games, they have 3 points. That means Crystal Palace have only drawn 3 games and lost 5. Then on 19th position is Southampton. They have only drawn 1 and lost 7. Wolves are last on the table. They have only they draw 1 game and lost 7 games. They have only 1 point after 8 games. So it's looking like Wolves is going down.
23 goals. Come on, man. This is not the Wolverhampton Wanderers we know.
So
this is not the Wolverhampton Wanderers we know.
That's English Premier League table. Let's see how these things are going to be performing, because next weekend again we have another league of games. Okay, there are games that happened yesterday in the La Liga. Yesterday is Valencia versus Las Palmas. That game ended Las Palmas won that game by 3-2. They went away to Valencia and won that game. I won't say comfortably, because Valencia got a red card in that game, but they won that game also.
Well, the La Liga, we always know, is always, aside from the first 2 teams, every other team can follow. And it surprised me that Valencia has come in a way that they usually qualify for the Champions League, they qualify for Europe.
But it's been a long time.
It's been a long time.
Like 4 years ago, you could say Valencia top 4.
After Emery was there, Emery was winning the UEFA Cup with them.
You could say 4 years ago, you will see them in Champions League. What they do is they qualify for Champions League, then they drop off of Champions League to play Europa League. You'll see them in top 4 finish, and so all of a sudden it was Sevilla. Then all of a sudden you start asking yourself, what happens to the top 6? They're no longer in that conversation of top 6 again. You now see a Sevilla, a Villarreal, and maybe another team. Valencia is no longer in that conversation. Maybe a Real Sociedad, or perhaps it's you now ask yourself, what happens to the likes of Valencia? Where are they now? You now start seeing them fighting for maybe it's middle table teams to see if they can survive the season. You're not a team that you say, okay, it's just like saying Tottenham Hotspur is just in the Premier League to survive the season. If you're counting top 6, big 6, you count them. If you're counting big 6 in Spain, you count Valencia. But now,
big 6 in La Liga changes every season, because
it
really changes every season, because the likes of Sevilla, Valencia, Villarreal, a lot of them have gone through dramatic changes that they are no longer in that conversation. And that's just the thing about it. Like, when last did we see Valencia playing in the Champions League? A long time ago. So you can't just put them on that pedestal because of their name. It would be unfair to them. And then in the La Liga, another thing you need to understand is that in the Premier League, we know who be Bournemouth, we know who be Wolves, we know what to expect from these guys. But in the La Liga, you can come as a big Barcelona, come and play Las Palmas and collect 3-0. And go back home.
It happens everywhere.
It happens everywhere. Because they tell me, say, you know who be Bournemouth. I remember I get that way, Bournemouth beat Chelsea man away. And for Bournemouth home, they beat Chelsea 4-0.
Yeah, but the idea is you know who you are playing and you know what to expect.
It's the same thing. A big 6 is a big 6. So everybody will always want to play with you as a big team. You have the records. The record speaks for themselves. It's not like they just emanated and became a big 6 without putting up the record. They put up the work to be in that big 6 conversation. So if a team like Girona comes in, it's just like saying in the Premier League as well, where a surprise team can just come in and win the league, like a Leicester City. You could say, okay, fine, they just came in and broke into that big 6 conversation for once a while. You say Newcastle came in and broke into top 4. That year they were part of big 6. Now last season is Aston Villa. This season now it might be Brighton because of the way they are firing. So
Aston Villa will stay there.
So for what's it called now, for La Liga, we have that conversation. Teams will come in and break into the conversation, but those teams are not there to stay, because I could remember last season it was Girona, and before then it was Getafe. Now we are those teams. So they've dropped back to their position. But I think Valencia's game last night, they lost their head and they lost the game.
They lost the game. That game ended 3-2 against Valencia. Valencia losing at home after getting a red card in the second half. And they scored a 91-minute goal, but it wasn't enough for them to rescue a point. If you look at the La Liga throughout the weekend, there are big games that happen throughout the weekend. I'll probably highlight some of them before I give you the league table. If you look at the game for Barcelona winning Sevilla 5-1.
was a trashing.
This
That's a
Barcelona
winning.
boys,
This is where you see.
they hear what I
This
thought.
now this kind of thing you go see because they trash.
Ejuke played, but I think he was injured and he was removed in the second half. But this Barcelona boys, I was looking at that game, watching that game on Sunday, and like I could count about six boys, academic boys from Barcelona that is playing that game. They have actually built a team that almost everybody could have to be worried about these guys. But if you look at that game generally, do you think that Barcelona has enough to win the La Liga and even the Champions League, John?
Champions League a bit too far. La Liga, yes.
Like what?
We know in I think in La Liga is one game, one trophy on, 3 trophies off for Real Madrid. So when I've gone through the La Liga record and I've not seen a Real Madrid do it back to back. It begs the question that how big are you when you cannot do the La Liga back to back and you're allowing Barca or Barcelona do the La Liga back to back 3 in a row, then you come and pick one off. Then it tells that there's only one big team in Spain. Now you might be the king in Champions League, but show workings for La Liga, more will know. Now Real Madrid won it last season, but this season is looking like it's Barcelona's own to lose.
Barcelona trashing that Ejuke's team by 5 goals.
Forget say senior man they call Ejuke name.
Senior man, leave the junior man first. But Ejuke started that game. That's the interesting part. But he didn't finish it because of injury. So that game ended 5-1 for Barcelona. And if you count the academic players that started that game, 5 of them, 5 boys in this academic boys started that game. That is a very, very good thing for Barcelona. And Olmo is back.
You know, I said it before. I said the way they produce players from the La Masia, you ask yourself, and they always compare them to the legends. And they come in and they show. What I'm saying, the boys they come, they show workings.
They show workings. I cannot lie you. And Sebastian started the first game for Barcelona after almost 2 years.
Over 2 years after going on loan
and all that.
Premier League.
And to almost score the goal in that game. So let's see how Barcelona was going to progress throughout the season. Another game that happened in the La Liga throughout the weekend is Real Madrid winning Celta Vigo at home, 2-1. Celta Vigo missed about 3 one-on-one chances, but somehow Real Madrid scored that goal. Mbappe scoring an answer 18 bank. That shot was answer 18. He shot that, hit that ball very, very sweet, and he hit the back of the net. Vinicius scoring the second goal. That game ended 2-1, John.
Man of the match performance for me. I think I'm seeing in the media now where they say Vinicius will receive his first what's it called?
Ballon d'Or. Yes.
But that is that's why they invite him for Ballon d'Or and they end up giving it to somebody else.
No, I think Vinicius is going to win this one.
The conversation is large.
You know it's Monday, right?
Vinny, yes, now
Monday.
Vinny is in the conversation, Jude is in the conversation, then they will not end up giving it to Rodri. Now everybody eye go open. You understand? Because I've seen it happen in the Grammys. You get when they invite some heavy names and those people come just to make the newspaper headline and they give it to somebody that you don't really know. It happened even in the last edition of the Grammys, but let's not talk about entertainment now. In Real Madrid, everybody is talking about where, like as Lucy has said it, everybody will play. But at some point, you can't keep fielding your best players. You need to rest some of them. And I think it is high time we start seeing a Brahim Diaz come into that conversation. You get, on the right wing, there is nobody actually there to nail that spot. We only have Lucas Vasquez. He's a 32-year-old man who cannot nail that spot. We have an Andagula who plays from that position but cannot nail it down as well. And you keep playing a striker in that position in person of Rodrigo. Now it's high time we start seeing a Lucas, a Brahim Diaz come in and nail that position down.
Okay, John, that game 2-1. Mbappe scoring that game. He has 6 goals now in the La Liga. I think he's actually adapting well.
Yeah, in a sense, he's adapting well. But if you watch their games, you find out that there's nobody in the center. Him and Vinny are all playing from that left, So it's a nice one. It's working for now till they get a soccer punch, and then it's going to be a different conversation. But good win for them, good points for them. Mbappe should be scoring more. Hopefully he gets in on the ball. But I think that Real Madrid have sacrificed Jude Bellingham to get the best out of Mbappe, because Jude now is not the Jude we saw last season.
Ancelotti was talking about that in the press conference. He didn't bother, but he needs to fix his team, because what will he have to do? They have to play these boys.
The thing is, no matter how you say it, Jude is always it's just like when you see those games where Jude didn't play, you can see that the attack wasn't ticking. When you see those games that Jude didn't play, Valverde tries his best to make the attack tick, but it wasn't ticking. And Jude is the person that will tell you, please, I don't have the strength to run back to defend. So whenever we go forward with these chances, let us bury them. So when we are coming back
But
for
actually,
a
in
review.
that game, actually he ran more than most
No, see,
everybody in that
He
game.
that-
ran more.
see-
He walks more. If you look
thing
at
is- the
Jude
thing is-
this season, he ran more. He walks more.
He
He's
always
everywhere.
See, the thing is, one thing you don't understand is Jude is always everywhere. He's scoring the goals, he's always defending. But notice this fact that whenever he goes forward, he tries as much as possible to get the goal so that the running will reduce. Now look at the hit map of
Is it not normal for
See,
everything?
it's normal for everything. See, look, it's normal for everything.
No,
want to
but
attack
wait,
and
now,
not-
now, now,
why
now, wait, wait.
it's different
Why is
is
different
that
is
he's working on more than the other people in that midfield.
when you don't score the goal, you defend more, and when you concede, it becomes more pressure
Yes.
on your team. So try as much as that's why Jude is always like, I beg, we could try, and he's not just talking to one person. He's talking about the front four. He said whenever because he knows he's part of the front four. He said, whenever we go forward, let's try so that if we don't score the goal, we know that okay, fine, is either a goal kick or it's a rebuild. They are coming from the midfield line to start again. And it's one of those things you say, this is a player that is yet to I would say he's a team player now. He's not there to tell you I'm the better player in the side. He's just there to tell you I work a lot in the side. He's just to tell you we are together in this. We're fighting for every result. We are going to fight for every result until the end of the season. It's all of us against them, not I against them.
Okay. Let's see how Real Madrid and Barcelona is going to be ending this season. Remember that the last game for the big guys for the La Liga is Atletico winning that game 3-1. They came from 1 goal down to wrestle and won that game 3-1. So if you look at the league table in the La Liga, is Barcelona stay top.
No, don't call it. They know. They know.
But Atletico Madrid and Real Madrid are still unbeaten. After 10 games, they have not lost a game. But Real Madrid have won 7 games, draw 3, and lost 0. They have 24 points. Atletico Madrid has won 5, drew 5, and lost 0. So they have 20 points. So that's the top 3 for the La Liga. But Barcelona have lost 1 point. They have scored 33 goals. That's impressive for Barcelona. They have been scoring goals. And Lewandowski has 12 goals in the La Liga, making him the top scorer in the La Liga. So let's see how this guys is going to be ending this season. Everybody is thinking probably.
You forget about 4 and 5.
It-
Atletico Bilbao and Atletico
These
Villarreal.
those people will not win the league. You know they don't win the
No,
league.
no, you don't talk
That's
about top
Yeah.
5 now. You talk about top 5 before
Top
we
three,
talk about.
let's go. This is La Liga. It's not like
It's not like what is this? Other Premier League.
or
So
even the Serie A.
I understand. So, but if you look at that Barcelona La Liga table, I think Barcelona is probably going to be winning the league based on how they perform. And you know, some of their players like Olmo, they are coming back with injury. But let's see what happens with them and Real Madrid. Okay, let's move a bit with the Bundesliga because our guy scored the winning goal for Bayer Leverkusen to get a 2-goal win against Frankfurt. That game ended 2-1. Boniface scoring that goal. You know, he was after that game he was involved in an accident that almost hurt him, but he survived without a scratch. Thank God for that. Our own Boniface, he had an accident in Germany, but nothing happened to him. Thank God for that. But if you look at that game in the weekend, now over celebration, it's
Don't be over celebration. The guy missed penalty earlier in that game. They almost crucified him. You know, when you miss a big chance and you come back to score the goal, it tells in your mentality that you're not letting anything tie you down. You're not letting any bad decision hold you back. You get going forward. He scored the goal. He was happy about it. I think he did the chicken run, and that was what was trending the weekend. The chicken run, and after that. He came out to say that it's wonderful when you miss chances and you feel like people are going to crucify you in the media. Then you come back and score a bang, and everybody is, instead of crucifying you, they're singing you praises. And
as it should be, because if you miss those chances and you don't get them back, then you can be sure you can expect the crucifixion. But then, if you are able to make it up to the team by scoring a banger and helping them win, all is forgiven.
Okay, if you look at Bundesliga again, and the other big guys there is Bayern Munich. They won that game in the weekend on Saturday, 4-0. So it's going to be a tough race with all of them. If you look at the league table in the Bundesliga, Bayern Munich still stay top. They have not actually lost a game in the Bundesliga this season. Here, them and RB Leipzig, both of them have not lost a game. If you look at the league table, Bayern Munich still stay top with 17 points. RB Leipzig second with 17 points. Freiburg 15 points. Bayer Leverkusen stay fourth with 14 points. Let's hope they are going to probably Bayern Leverkusen is going to be defending that champion, but Bayern looks actually strong this season. But let's see what happens in the Bundesliga. this season.
It's too early to call.
Company
Yeah,
should win
Maybe
it.
the same
Simple.
Bayern Munich.
Company
It's
will
too
buy-
Company
early.
should win it. Simple.
It's too early to call. Now waiting me, I know.
Okay, before we move on to the Champions League, let's talk about the MPFL because games happened yesterday in the MPFL. Our own Rangers International played Aqua United yesterday, but that game ended 0-0. No, so.
Like I said, if you can score 3 goals in a comeback against Kano Pillars, it tells that you know how to score goals. What is now wrong with you when you are playing a flat midfield? Please, these are the games you should be winning. These people, I looked at that game and they were not really packing the box. I don't know if they have this mentality of if they want to start playing like Man United, let's concede first before we know if we will score goals. Because this season, the result for this season is telling a different story. Enugu Rangers, the result for this season is telling a different story. And we want to beg Fidelis, we want to beg Lichku, sir, you know you are the working one. Please, let us see workings. Because in this team now, we're not really seeing workings. We brought in players from maybe Niger Tornadoes, and I think they brought in about 4 new signings this summer. 4 new signings, and yet we're not seeing workings.
I hardly see MPFL to defend their title. It's always hard. It's always hard. So most time when they win, they will fall off like mad.
If you win, just try it for top 4 conversation. So if you go Europe, continent as the next season.
So do you think that Rangers International can defend this title?
The way it's going now, let them just find a way to settle in the top 2 because top 2 they go Champions League. While top 2nd, 3rd and 4th they go Conference League. So when they just try, maybe if you finish for top 2, and that competition now is very tough because if they can't continue to win games, they will not be in that competition. Because you saw the likes of Rivers United who won the league about 2 seasons ago are now there again.
Okay, the other games that happened in the MPFL yesterday is Ikorodu City 4, Lobby Stars 2. Niger Tornadoes 0, Rivers United 1, Shooting Stars 1, Katsina United 0. Let's talk about Rivers United because they stay top in the MPFL. If you look at what Finidi is doing, they have not actually lost a game this season, but they won that game comfortably. So, what do you make of Finidi and his Rivers United? They are almost sure. Nigeria Professional League, you can look at the trend. You can look at a team that you probably can guess 70% by winning the league. They went them man down, but they still won that game away from home. What do you make of Rivers United and Finidi George this season?
When they won the league, I think that was 2 or 3 years ago before Imba, and they talked about it. Then the former governor went on to bless everybody in the team. And now the new governor is saying, if this person can do it, I can do better. Please, I want to sponsor you people for this. I'm not saying the money is motivating them now, but I'm just saying they have another motivation. Because this man now has plenty of errors to correct in the media because he has a bad light in the media that he can't handle himself in the national team job. Now he's at Rivers United now. I think this is his 4th game or so, and he's telling people that you people should calm down. There's a lot of wins to go around, and he's now on the top of the table, winning games like comfortably and playing good football.
He has not lost a game.
Playing good football, winning games, and he tells you that he's here. He won it with Eimba. He's here to tell you that he can do it with any team. He's a proven winner.
So if you look
he has many things to prove. He has many people. He has many doubters in quote. He has many doubters to prove wrong.
John, if you look at Finidi, apart from there being top of the league with 20 points, they have actually conceded only 2 goals in 8 games.
And they scored 11.
And that's actually impressive if you look at
it. Yeah, it's impressive to look at, and then you have to give kudos to the defenders, give kudos to him as well and the coaching staff because it's not a small feat to achieve in the MPFL. But then one of the biggest things to be wary of now is falling off because you come in sometimes. They say this thing in sports, when you are winning, you come into games with an extra pep in your step. When you lose, you come into games a little bit wary of the matches. So they should just keep on winning and keep their head grounded. Stop thinking too far and just take it game by game.
He's not even thinking. The worst part is he told them in the press conference that it's one game at a time, and like he quoted me on this one now. He said it's a marathon. We will have to see where the season ends, but he will take it game at a time. Now, for him to say after me or for him to quote me on his press conference means he's learning from another ideological tactical master.
Wait, what talk? Which kind of talk with that one? Who are you?
How many decades that adage there has been in use?
It doesn't mean I mean bring him down. Me tactical on YouTube. Just drop your comment. Let me read it for them. I know you're on YouTube. Just drop your comment.
Okay, if you look at the MPF, the league table in the Nigerian Professional League, Rivers United stay top with 20 points. They have actually played 8 games. They have not lost any game. So they stay 20 points. Remo Stars are actually behind them with 18 points. They won 6 and lost 2. 18 points. Enyimba stay third with 14 points. Sunshine Stars 13 points. On fifth is Academy Warriors with 11 points.
How people just promote last season? They
Yeah.
are continue for top 5.
Sixth is Kano Pillars with 11 points. Plateau United stay 7th with 11 points. Rangers International 8th with 11 points. Katsina United stay 9th with 11 points. Abia Warriors 10th with 11 points. So we have a whole lot of things that are 11 points. So let's see how this league is going to play out. Let's hope that Rangers International will pick up form. But now they are almost 9 points. 9 points behind Rivers United. 9 points is a huge gap in the MPFL.
Those 9 points can be lost up north.
The only way they can actually
those 9 points can be lost up north. You go against Kano Pillars, against Katsina United. Problem there because their fan base they very very wary.
Well, I like what is happening in MPFL this season. We go away and win games.
Yes.
Nobody is saying about crowd troubles. Nobody's hiding that they beat any player.
The thing is, you pay a fine of 10 million. So then person go tell you, if you know say you get 10 and 15 million to pay, go beat opposition, go beat referee. Referee owner about, I think they'll take off 6 points from your team and they'll still pay a fine of 10 million. So if you know say you get those points to dash out, go beat referee or go fight or go stop opposition box and you're sanctioned. So it's just the way it is. I think it's just a regulation to make sure that every team is safe, because if they keep attacking players like this, nobody want to play away football anymore.
Okay, let's see what happens in the MPF. Let's hope that we improve, because we need to improve this league. I think that Nigeria have a whole lot of talent, especially on our streets. If we develop our football, we will produce probably good footballs like Brazilians, the way they produce from their streets. So let's see what happens in MPFL this season. Okay, let's move on to the biggest one for today. It's the Champions League. Champions League is happening today, so I'm going to give you the fixtures for today. Then we'll talk about some of the games. Monaco is going to take in first game 7:45. They have 2 games for 7:45. Monaco versus Serena Vezda. Milan versus Club Brugge. 8 p.m. is Arsenal versus Shakhtar Donetsk. Juventus versus Stuttgart. 8 p.m. All of these games are happening 8 p.m. Sturm Graz versus Sporting Lisbon. Real Madrid versus Dortmund. That is the repeat of the last stage Champions League finals. PSG versus PSV. Girona versus Slovan Bratislava. Aston Villa is going to play in Verona. Atlanta versus Celtic. Brest versus Bayer Leverkusen. Okay, that one for tomorrow. Okay, the game that ended today is the Aston Villa versus Verona. That's all the games for today. Okay, let's talk about some of the games that is happening today. I'll start with the early kickoff. Milan is going to be playing today again. Milan has been, they have been playing well off and on. Even last weekend, I think they got a red card. They got a red card. No, so we was talking about it off the camera. But they are going to play at home against Club Brugge. Do you think that they are actually going to be winning that game?
In the Champions League, they've had 2 wins. I think 1 win and 1 lose, because they lost to Liverpool and they won their next game. And I always continue to complain about them scoring the goals and not defending those goals. Against Fiorentina, we saw them go down and lost 2 penalties. Against the last team, we saw them score and lose the game. Like, they keep going forward, scoring goals, but defending those goals are becoming a problem. These are not the time. I think there was a time where they had a defense of Jan Stamp, Maldini, and other top defenders, Cafu and the rest of them. Now, I'm not seeing their defense look like that. I think now it's Inter Milan that has the best defense in the Serie A. With them playing like this, the midfield is okay. You get, but they should always have a target of scoring their goals and sealing up the games, because you can't keep creating chances and not bury those chances. Against Club Brugge, it's going to be tough, because we have a Rafael Onyedika who's always going to be creating chances. And their last game they lost against, I think they lost against Dortmund. The coach came out to say he was the only person that they were scared of. You get, now he sends not just 1 man, he sends 2 men to mark a midfielder who could create chances and still go forward to bury chances for the group. Now, if AC Milan want to get a result, because AC Milan now has 2 players of Nigerians that play with them, so if they want to bury or win these chances, they could perhaps send 2 players or 1 player to seal off or close off the gap of Rafael, because Samuel Chukwueze can go on to get his shine in the game.
Okay, John, if you look at that game, what do you see in that game? Milan to come off with a win?
Yeah, I'm hoping they're able to come up with at least their first points on the table in this tournament right now, because it's not looking nice. it's not a nice showing at all, and
They
hopefully
lost
they
two
can.
games in this
Hopefully,
Champions League.
hopefully
They
they
lost against
can
Liverpool.
turn
Come on.
it around. Hopefully they can turn it around. But it's Club Brugge, so it should be on a normal Champions League night. It should be a walkover.
And normal.
On a normal.
Normal.
But
On
AC
a
Milan what they
normal,
see now.
oh.
But AC Milan what they see now no normal.
Okay, let's move on to another big game. Is Arsenal is going to be playing Shakhtar Donetsk. Arsenal throughout the weekend didn't play well. They lost that game against Bournemouth, but they have a chance to play at the Emirates before they host Liverpool in the next weekend. But for now, they are going to play in Shakhtar Donetsk. What do you expect Arteta should be doing? Do you think he should introduce this young boy Nwaneri, or should he stick with these two defensive midfielder and
Three defensive midfielder.
I'll keep saying it.
It's not,
it's not a defensive
you go
midfielder.
explain tire. Three defensive
No.
midfielder against Bournemouth
Come
and you
on.
still lost.
No, I don't think Moreno is a defensive midfielder. But if you look at what do you expect, do you think that the issue is now you have to introduce Nwaneri? We are playing at home. Arsenal is playing at home, and they are playing against Shakhtar Donetsk.
For me, I think he should play attacking football, and he should play with that man up front as the number 10, because we saw him in his showing in the last match before this one. He had a fantastic game. It was essential to some of the forward movements and the attacking plays that they had. And this is Shakhtar Donetsk, so they are sure to have a couple of Brazilian players in the side that are going to come with
Always.
Razzle and Dazzle. So he should be solid at the back, play 2 CMs or 2 DMs, and then one area up front.
Okay, what do you expect them to be doing? What do you expect Arsenal to be doing in that game? I know people might say that they should be winning this game, but this is Champions
They
League.
say the
Anything
best-
can happen.
they say the
Saka
best
should
of-
be playing.
They say the best form of defense is attack. Bros, attack. I don't know why you play Declan Rice, Partey, and Moreno in midfield. You are playing because Moreno, no matter how you say it, is a center midfielder who has more tackles, more interceptions, and all of that. So which means he defends. Now Declan Rice also defends, Partey defends. So it's like playing for anyhow you explain it. As I say, you explain it. Anyhow you explain it, you're playing 3 defensive midfielder against a Bournemouth side, and you
I
still lost.
disagree.
Now, if you're playing against a Shakhtar Donetsk, don't do the same. They should kind of hold their head high. The discipline issue, they should have sorted that out, because from Wednesday or perhaps from Saturday and Sunday till now, it's a long time. You can use one day to sort discipline issues out. So sort the disciplinary issues out, play the game, play an attacking football. At this game now, okay, let's say you play a Partey, Rice needs rest.
Rice will play, don't bother yourself.
Rice needs rest. He's my boy. He needs rest. He can't play all
Your
the games
boy.
It's
every
not
season.
your boy, Oga.
He's my boy.
You
He's
showed
my.
him you have the 100 and something million in your pocket.
Calm down. He's still my
Use
boy.
it to go and buy baskets.
He's still my
It's
boy.
fine, but it's not your
They
boy.
didn't buy any basket.
You bought
He's still my
basket.
boy. They didn't buy any basket. Don't go there. I'm not going to go there now. He's still my boy. We need him to rest. You get in these games. You need to rest. In these games, you need to play. What's it called now? Kelly. You get. He's a midfielder, but he plays as a a left back.
Please.
This
I
is
don't want to
Champions League.
see
Everybody
Kelly.
needs.
I
Everybody
do not
needs
want to
9
see
points. This is if
play
Family.
Partey, Mireno, and then Heavens. What's the
Nwaneri.
one area?
Now you see now, as you talk now, if for your mind now, as you cook now, Rice no rest for your eye. Because say Partey, Mireno on one area, which means Rice go rest.
Because at the end of the day, you have to break this guy into the team, Mireno, one way or another. And I think that's one of the issues they had in the last game, because you have 2 people who are used to playing
He's back
with
from
each other,
injury.
and
You
then
need to see if he's
he
going to be
needs to
starting
get
Champions
game
League,
time.
fine. But he needs to be also introduced gradually into the Premier League. He can't be
and he
playing
could
90
come in
minutes
at
in
a
the Premier
sub and then Rice starts now.
Okay, if you look at that game, do you think that Arsenal? I think Saka is going to be fit to play this game. But do you think that Arsenal have what it takes to be winning these games?
League. Against Shakhtar Donetsk, you never can tell.
Okay, let's get your prediction for that game. First, the Milan and Club Brugge game. Let's get your prediction for that game before we move on to the next games.
If you ask me, rightly so, I will say AC Milan. But if you go play draw.
John, Milan to win for Arsenal versus Shakhtar Donetsk. Let's get your prediction.
Narrow in Arsenal.
I for like go with Shakhtar because I don't like any London team, but more just stick with Arsenal.
Now, Babele, they do it.
No, nah, say for Champions League, we say more support our very own. So they support Arsenal for this Champions League. When we literally go continue to banter ourselves.
Okay, no problem. Remember, we are live on YouTube at Volt FM Sports. We are live on YouTube at Volt FM Sports. When you go there, please drop your comments. I will be reading your comment live here in the studio. You can also call 0706 048 5853 to join the conversation with us in the studio, to tell us what you think about today's Champions League and give us your own prediction call us and tell us, especially the Arsenal game, the Aston Villa game, because we love our Premier League boys to be doing well in the Champions League. So you call us and tell us your own predictions. Okay, let's move on to the next game. It's Real Madrid versus Dortmund. It's the repeat of the last stage Champions League. They are meeting today again, but this time that game will be played at the Santiago Bernabeu. What day are you expecting Mbappe to keep firing? He's been scoring goals. He has scored 6 goals in the La Liga and a couple of goals in the Champions League. Now they are going to play in Dortmund. Dortmund have not been really, they are not being that big team, even though they reached the Champions League last season. But Dortmund has always been Dortmund. So, but if you look at that game, do you think they can surprise Real Madrid today?
Madrid should be wary of Dortmund. I said it, and I'm going to back it up, because you have a certain informed Sergio Girassi up front. For
that guy
Dortmund.
has been banking goals.
Left, right, center. And you have another stellar performer up there. You talk about the likes of Karim Adeyemi coming in from the flanks, bearing down on your team. So they need to be wary of that. You know why? Because remember I said this thing when the Champions League started. Real Madrid have a way of sleeping through games, getting wins, and progressing to the next stage. However, this time around, this is a league format. It's no longer win 3 games in 4 and then you are into the group stage.
But they go still play knockout stage.
They go reach knockout stage.
If you reach knockout stage, and they wait for you for front.
That knockout stage if you finish outside the top 8,
you go play knockout stage. You go play extra 2 games.
Extra
2 games. Now knockout stage now.
Now knockout stage.
So they wait for you for job. Any way you take group up, unless Real Madrid come up for that top 24, we don't go come out go house,
which is
impossible. As I said, for that the enter knockout stage is like telling somebody I didn't try for junction. The person go to say in mind good day. If they play against Real Madrid and you get your points or you get your win for your home for knockout stages, your mind good day. They go still know how to win you for knockout. It's just like there are some coaches that they don't know how to play this league format game. They just know how to play knockout football. That's why you see some coaches will tell you I can't coach any club, and when they coach a country, they are always winning. You get? So Real Madrid is one of those teams that normally La Liga, they come once in a while, they win it, and they go back and go and continue for the Champions League. But in the Champions League this season, I'm telling you that against Dortmund now, this one, if they don't do it, because this man he was trying to prove that he built the team that won the 3-peat. Now he's trying to do it again, and he's won 2, and I think Man City kind of cut him short in the 3rd one. Now he's going to do it again. This is 1. This season now 2. He will do a 3-peat and tell you that Zidane was his boy. But let's talk about this game now. This particular game, John has gone on to mention all the people that could harm them in attack. Who is going to harm them in midfield?
There are people in the midfield.
Who is going to name the big stars that are going to harm them in midfield? The only person you're going to mention, you might just mention a Sabitzer. Aside that, you can't mention 4 names or 3 names, even from the bench, that when a Real Madrid player sees them and say like, these people should get better bench.
You see, that's where we are different. I don't need to see you standing there to say, these people get this guy, I'm afraid. No.
See,
you come in against regular average looking players and they give you a sharp down X and you're asking
yourself, almost lost at Celta Vigo.
What are we not saying?
Now, who you know for the almost lost. Now they lost to what's it called now, Abi? They lost to Lille.
Yes.
They lost to Lille in the last edition of the last match of the Champions League. What happened for that match? You get? It's not about calling the players' names. You get? It's about looking at the potential the players has. You get? I can go on and say in Bournemouth.
So you are telling me now that Borussia Dortmund midfielders have no potential.
They get potential now, but not the one where I go to fear. Okay. I don't mention the person where I feel fear for the midfield. I don't mention like 2 names I feel fear for the midfield and names I feel fear for attack. There's a brand that I could be afraid of in attack. There's a brand, you didn't mention brand, there's a brand I could be afraid of in attack. But in midfield, outside Sabitzer, I don't see another person I could be scared of. But Real Madrid bench, I don't want call names, but no call names. When you look at the bench, you see that there's potential on the bench that could come in and hurt you. You get? That was what happened in the last game that we're arguing about the performance of a player. So now the same thing we'll talk about when a player is starting and is not giving the result. You could look at the bench and bring in somebody else, and the game changes from there.
Okay, that game is going to happen 8 p.m. It's Real Madrid versus Dortmund. It's the repeat of the last year's Champions League final. This Champions League format, you don't play home and away. They just group you to play anywhere you see yourself. If you see any opponent you are playing away, you go and play. You are playing home, you go and play. So let's see what happens when Dortmund goes to Spain to take on Real Madrid. Okay, let's talk about another game from England. It's Aston Villa. Is going to be playing Bologna. if you look at Aston Villa, the way they have built, Emery has built his team. They won even last weekend 3-1. He has built a team that everybody likes. They are looking like a team that everybody wants them to win now. If you look at the way everybody's talking about, press is talking about them, nobody is trying to press them like Manchester City or Manchester United or Arsenal. Everybody left them alone. So Emery is free from the press, English press. He has been building. Now they are playing in Champions League. They have won 2 games. Their games in the Champions League. Now they are going to play a game today. Do you think that he will qualify? You take this Aston Villa side to qualify at least to the knockout stage?
Person wey get mind beat wetin they call am Bayern Munich. Why no qualify? He don already qualify. From that record alone, just give am top 8. I no need to stress.
What happened after beating Bayern Munich in the Premier League?
In the Champions League.
What happened after beating Bayern Munich in the Champions League? What happened in the Premier League?
You know me, Premier League na Premier League. They will still be shockers here and there in the Premier League. Just talking about what happened to them after this. You don't forget say even Arsenal this last weekend, you don't see everywhere quiet. You know see everywhere just dey if you come up for street, everywhere just dey quiet. Chelsea and Arsenal collect. So everywhere gats dey quiet. It go happen. So you want to say they don't go perform this week, they go perform. You get. So what happens in the Champions League is just like what they say what happens in Rome stays in Rome. It's still what happen for Champions League, Premier League after they win that Champions League match. Normally, it go happen. You get now, and nobody say they even lose the match. They get, I think after the Champions League match, they played against Man United and they played 0-0 draw. You get they no lose. So the Champions League, if they continue in that regard, they should have in their head, back of their head that they played against the Bayern Munich side and they were not scared of the star names that Bayern Munich had, and they won the game. They can go against any other team and win. They can even go as I be like this now with all the full confidence in my chest. I go say if they with this kind of performance, if they meet Real Madrid for final, they feel winner.
Calm down.
But I go calm down. Thank you for calling me down. Thank you for calling me down. But it gets to show you that Bologna were a good side last season in this year. But their coach don't come out now. They come like say he just carry them reach heaven. As a
abandon them.
You know that kind of thing say you barely carry a pikin. Reach up finish and the pikin never sabi fly. You can't reach up finish, can't leave am for there. The pikin go carry head na ground. How can you take them into the Champions League and you don't maybe stay one more year, see how they perform in the Champions League, and you just left them there and went to Juventus? And
but you have a once in a lifetime.
And you're playing unbeaten in Juventus right now. You're playing unbeaten.
It's a no-brainer. You go to Juve straight up.
See now the team now don't they suffer.
Well,
because even for the league, they
it's not his fault. They should have had a contingency plan if he left, like a couple of other clubs in the Premier League do.
Okay, let's take this call. Hello, good morning.
Morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Name and location, please.
It's Bishop.
Okay. Bishop, what do you make of today's Champions League games?
It's going to be great. John, what happened now? After they won Bayern, what happened? They played the man that they outplayed, so they couldn't score goal to win Man U.
That's what happened now.
They might even be tired from beating Bayern. I think if you are being honest, when they beat Bayern, they should be tired a little bit. So they put them up in
it's true.
Not like they played badly against United. Go and watch it. They didn't play badly against United, so that they couldn't score. United defense was one kind strong, and they were defending, trying to not allow them to score them. They were very careful, not allow them to score. That's what happened. Not like they didn't play their game. I'm supporting them to qualify from the group, just like John Monto said. I'll be surprised if he didn't make it from the group, but I'm expecting him, Emery, to make it from the group. I don't see the reason they will not make it. In fact, they have started well against Bologna today. I'm expecting it's either they win or they draw. If they lose, I'll be very surprised to discuss them tomorrow morning.
Oh, okay.
So if they can pick a draw or win that match, they are going away now.
Yeah, no, they are playing at home.
Okay, they are playing at home.
Yes.
That's mad. That's mad advantage for them to win. We will not be surprised if you see them beat them. Bologna, their coach left. Some of their players left. Zegzi and one other guy that left.
They sold 5 of their starting lineup last season.
Yes. So not like the same Bologna we watched last season. Some of their players left, including their coach. Emery was going to do a lot of work to beat them. I think you should do that at home. Understand? Then against Real Madrid, this Real Madrid now, this is Champions League. Understand? I don't think, just like I think I won't agree with what Nato said. Maybe we are not yet near Madrid. They will start playing their own Champions League.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes, it makes sense when you say it. When you come to this knockout stage, They always know how to do it. And this is Champions League. They believe it's their own. I got an opinion. They believe that Champions League is their own. Even if they carry it now and give you Madrid the seat to play in Champions League, you have.
You go be baller now. You go turn ball overnight.
Yes. They will believe that it's their league. Irrespective of who they are playing and who the opponent is and no matter how tough the match is going to be. They always have that spirit. Boys, this is our league. We have to win it. Even if they lose to Lille, that's how you see. After losing, this is not the first time. They will lose small boys, but they will go ahead to win the league. They have done it like severally. Even that they think that didn't give them the chance to win. But we keep on Rigori, Mago, Marovan and all that to win the league. So we'll be looking out to them. I would not be surprised if they win. I think they're going to win, considering that they lost their last game.
Yes, and they're playing at home.
Yes, they will try everything to rewrite their wrongs. So today is going to be a good game. I think they are all going today.
Yes.
They are going to sit and watch the game and enjoy and see what comes after.
All right, thank you, Bishop. Yeah. Okay, the next game for today is PSG versus PSV. Two good guys, two good players. If you look at these two, apart from PSG are not actually doing well, but PSG, they are top of the league on. And we'll talk about that. Let's take this call. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good
Name and
morning.
location.
Yes, my name is Sonia Vitali Tapo Bridge, aka Road.
Good morning. Okay, what do you think about the Champions League games?
Today's Champions League game will be hot, so I'm telling you honestly. Although Aston Villa, they are trying. As they beat Bayern Munich, it's likely Bologna will be an easy walkover for them.
Let's not say that now.
Well,
I'm telling you because Bologna is not a threat to Aston Villa because for them to beat almighty Bayern Munich, Bologna is not a threat for them. For Real Madrid, Borussia Dortmund, the match will be tough because Borussia Dortmund will remember what they did at the final. Although I predict that match to be a draw in Spain, Santiago Bernabeu.
yes.
Bayern Munich, Barcelona. That will be a tough match too.
That's tomorrow.
That's tomorrow.
Okay, tomorrow, okay.
Yes,
And after I get today,
Yeah,
Arsenal
and
get
Shakhtar
today.
Donetsk,
Shakhtar
yes.
Donetsk.
okay, Arsenal will beat them mercilessly because they will use the annoyance what they happened to them that they brought them against on Saturday and they can't properly.
Oh boy.
All right.
Arsenal need to win them by maybe 3-0 or 4-0.
All right. Thank you very
I
much.
like your faith.
No,
Are they ever present, my boss?
You don't want to talk, you don't
No, me, I dey support Arsenal now. England, all of us now England, we got support our English brothers now. Hmm?
All right.
I'm supporting English, I'm supporting the
Eh, For Premier League, when we on Saturday we go continue from where we stop. Today, make all of us go hand sing the English anthem.
All right. Bye. Okay. PSG and PSV are playing today. What do you see in that game, Emery? Who do you think will win that game?
It's not each time they go arrange name of team in alphabetical order. You get PSG and PSV. You now remove the PS and leave the G. So for me, look at in the league now. We have a PSG side who was dominated. They are winning games. So they sold some players and people. Some journalists like without Mbappe, you see them lacking in some areas. But they've been scoring multiple goals. They've been winning 4-2, 3-2, 3-0s, 4-0s, and all of that. And maybe in some games they win 1-0, and they're topping the league with perhaps a good goal margin. You get, and followed by the only people that have scored more goals in the league as well is maybe a Marcel.
Yeah.
You get. So I think for them now in the Champions League, they need to rewrite their wrong.
Do you think that they can win it without Mbappe, Messi,
See,
and Neymar? Can they win the
no
Champions
It's not
League?
about Mbappe,
No
Messi,
way.
and Neymar. They
Can
spend
No
they
way.
win? Because
No
they are
way.
good away from that spending big. They are now bringing in small boys.
You
Now
know,
the manager
the
now.
That's it.
and
The
that.
manager na
that way,
proven
yes.
winner. The manager na proven winner.
Please,
You
don't,
get
let's
Luis
not
Enrique.
go there.
So he can still win it without star players.
Let's
It's just
not
what I
go
believe.
there. Proven winner. Why didn't he win Champions League with Paris Saint-Germain?
Okay, let's get your prediction for Real Madrid and Dortmund first.
Real Madrid Dortmund, I think it's a Real Madrid win 2-0.
2-0. Okay, PSG and PSV. Let's get your prediction.
PSG.
PSG. Okay,
Draw.
draw. Okay, let's take this final call. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
It's Manchester.
Oh, good morning.
Oh, Manchester United.
How are you?
It's been a while.
That's the thing. That's the only thing last week.
Okay, what is your contribution about these Champions League games?
When Manchester United, when are they playing?
They are playing on Thursday. We are talking about Champions
We are
League.
talking
today.
about Champions League,
We are
not.
not talking UEFA.
You
But
know,
you sounded like
Europa
you're
League.
insulting the young
Yeah, I
man.
will contribute. Now, when is
They are playing on Thursday.
Man City, and when are they playing?
Tomorrow.
Okay, they will beat Manchester City. Aston Villa will win.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Okay, the final game is Juventus, and Juventus is going to is playing Stuttgart today. Let's get your prediction for that game before we end the show.
They should
Thiago
be
is
winning.
Thiago is doing a good job.
Yeah,
so
you have
we
not
should
lost.
be-
Actually, you have not lost a
See,
game
the thing is,
throughout this
there's
season.
something we are forgetting about Real Madrid. Either way, Real Madrid won the Champions League. Dortmund still won the Champions League. Because if they had won the Champions League, I think they'll be getting about £8 million. You get. Then if Real Madrid win the Champions League, they'll get £10 million.
You're
get.
talking about money. You're
No,
talking
no,
about the cup here.
Their player, if Real Madrid win the Champions League, it means they'll be getting money for Jude Bellingham for winning Champions League, about 10 million from Real Madrid. And they got it. So either ways, they got the money
They did
that was
not get
attached
that.
to,
See,
to
leave
it.
that one. Leave that one.
Okay, let's get your prediction for that Juve game.
Juventus
Juve
3-0.
Juve will win 3-0.
Juventus to
Yeah.
win 3-0.
To win,
It's,
Juve
it's,
win.
it's normal.
Okay, if you look, but for instance now, that Champions League, do you think that Thiago Motta can build up this team to be winning that Champions League?
Maybe a season or two.
What do you
Not,
think?
not this season. Not this season.
Do you
Yeah,
think so?
I think they've done well so far. They've gone to, I think, Champions League finals against Real Madrid and against this, and they lost it. But it's going to be tough.
Okay, that's the end of our Champions League preview. Today, let's go sit down and watch a whole lot of games. I think we are having Arsenal is going to play, Juve is playing, Real Madrid, Dortmund are going to play today. Let's sit down and enjoy Champions League football. And finally, before we end the show, remember the FIFA Under-17 is happening now. Our Nigeria is representing
Flamingos.
us. The Flamingos are representing us, and they are playing today. They are playing Dominican Republic by 12 midnight. You know, let's hope that they get that. We're going to give you updates on in that tournament. They have won their games now. They are going to play in this game, and let's hope that our Nigerian girls will do us proud and win that game. Okay, before we leave, we have small comments here on our YouTube channel. Remember, we are live every day, Monday to Saturday on YouTube at Vote FM Sports. Okay, Nonso, welcome to the show. Okay, Nonso is saying, please, our guest will play today by midnight. How can we watch it? I think Super Sports should be showing that, so you can wake up by 12 midnight and can watch it. I think I'll watch it, so I'll talk about it tomorrow morning. I think we should watch
They've
it.
done well because their last match they won by
They won
margin.
comfortably, yes.
Yeah.
So I think we should be looking at their profile and talking about them more.
Okay, this is how we are going to end today's show. Thank you for joining us. Thank you. Today Champions League happening today. Let's sit down and enjoy it. Let's hope our Nigerian girls will do us proud. My name is Godwin, and have a lovely day.
Hello, Enugu, and welcome to Vote
24.